Hi guys, my name is David and today's video is going to be a bit different to the rest as I would like to have a look at why exactly are there so many supercars out here in London. A driving experience retailer, Activity Superstore, made a study in 2018 where they analyzed 148 million Instagram pictures of supercars and found out that 6.1 million of those pictures were taken here in London. Now, I by no means think that just because of some Instagram study done by a company that no one has ever heard of before, London is the supercar capital of the world. But I still think that it would be quite interesting to have a look at why exactly are there so many supercars in London and why are so many pictures of supercars taken in London. But before answering the question itself, let's go out and ask some people on the streets. So I'm asking a simple question today. Why do you think there's so many supercars out here in London?
Well, I reckon there is a lot of money here in London.
Because there are so many rich people, maybe?
Costs too much money, mate.
Well, because people are very rich.
Because London is a rich country.
Because people are rich.
You know, and some people actually like fancy cars, like myself.
I feel like most people are just trying to show off. A lot of Arabs, very rich Arabs, yeah.
And a lot of people, like loads of tourists, loads of people like to come here and like flex their car on people.
That's a tough question. I don't know. The Queen, I don't know. They come to London because of the palace.
So why are there so many supercars in London? I think it comes down to 6 reasons. First of all, UK has a long car history and profound car culture. The first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix in 1950 took place at the Silverstone race circuit in the south of England, and British race drivers have won 19 championships in total, more than any other nation. UK gave us a number of legendary F1 champions like Graham Hill, Nigel Mansell, James Hunt, or more recently, Lewis Hamilton. 6 out of 10 current F1 teams have their bases in England, and road car manufacturers like McLaren, Aston Martin, Jaguar, Lotus, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Land Rover were all established in the UK. Because of its long motor racing history, British people tend to buy a lot of sports cars, supercars, and luxury cars. In 2018, UK was second in the world when it comes to the market share of sports cars by revenue, with 4.5%, and first when it comes to the market share of sports cars by unit sales, with 2%. This means that out of all cars sold, 2% were sports cars. One other interesting statistic, just in 2018, Ferrari sold 981 cars in the UK, and it is its third biggest region, just after the entire Asia-Pacific region and the Americas. Third reason is that London in general is full of rich people. The GDP per capita is £56,200, which is way above UK's average of £37,700. The inner west part of London, or in other words the most posh one, has an even higher GDP per capita, reaching up to £169,000. If we look at the price per square meter, a square meter of property in Kensington and Chelsea can cost up to £19,000, which is 10 times more, or almost 10 times more, than UK's average of £2,400. This translates to a mean price per house in Kensington and Chelsea of £2,100,000. A supercar such as the Porsche GT3 RS, worth £200,000, is a spare change in comparison to the house. In the case of the Saudi Prince B14, even the price of his entire fleet with which he came to London last year and consisted of cars such as the Veneno Roadster, LaFerraris, Pagani Huayra, Regera 918 and is worth around £16 million, is spare change in comparison to his £136 million One Hyde Park mansion. Fourth reason is that London has a relatively stable weather all year round. Sure, it may be raining quite a bit, but the average annual temperature is 11.1 degrees Celsius, and the difference between the warmest and the coldest month is only 13.8 degrees Celsius. Look at the weather now. It's quite cold, but the sky is blue? Is this even possible in London? Also, despite London's reputation for its awful weather, the American supercar hubs of New York or Miami both have a higher amount of precipitation per year than London. This means that the London supercar owner can pretty much drive his cars all year round. Fifth reason, and this is quite a short one, in the UK, supercar, or car in general, is a symbol of status. And the sixth and the final reason, the one that you've been all waiting for, UK has good ties with its former colonies that are now rich on gas and oil reserves. The rich, wealthy, and royal from countries like Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, or United Arab Emirates come to London every year to show off their newest toys and expensive cars. Now to the second question, why are there so many supercar photos taken in London? London is quite a large city, but most of its supercars can be found on an area smaller than 3 square kilometers, which is ideal because you can see a large amount of cars in the shortest amount of time possible. In practice, this means that if a car shows up in Mayfair and the car enthusiast is located, for example, in Belgravia, he can be there within 10 minutes walk. In the rich areas of London, such as Belgravia or Mayfair, the expensive housing often lacks garages, which means that the owners have to park their cars on the streets. Since the weather is relatively stable and the neighborhoods are pretty safe, this is not a problem, and it is great for the car enthusiasts as they can find cars, such as this McLaren Senna, parked on the streets all year round. This is quite funny. Just after talking about the McLaren Senna and how it's parked on the streets all year round, a truck came for it and took it to McLaren for service. So yeah, that is that. These are some of the reasons why I think that London is considered the supercar capital of the world. I hope that you didn't get bored by the large amount of statistics in this video, but if you still enjoyed, please consider subscribing. It means a lot. Also, if you have some other ideas or opinions why there are so many supercars in London, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. And now, I'm going back because even though it's nice, it's really cold out here. But hopefully, see you next time.